I hope we can agree on something at least in the end of this video. Volvo or Saab, Mac or PC, Xbox versus PlayStation, vinyl versus streaming or CD, film or digital in photography, streaming or physical media in watching movies and TV series on TV. These battles will never end. There's only one battle that ended, and that's Volvo versus Saab, because Saab is not a brand anymore. Anyway, I hope we can agree on something at least in the end of this video about digital or analog photography. Because are you truly a real photographer if you shoot only digital? Or are you a conservative old fart if you choose to do film photography, analog photography? I thought I'd take a couple of minutes of your life to torture you with a video about what I think about digital or analog photography. It's really not a subject that I'm feeling any joy in talking about, since both are photography. But we'll go into that soon. And to answer the question I asked, as soon as you have a camera in your hand and you do photography, you're painting with light, and that's what photography really means, painting with light. So it doesn't matter if you have a cell phone camera, a DSLR or an analog camera, or whatever camera you have, you're still painting with light, and that's being a photographer. After all, a camera is just a tool to capture a moment in time on a film frame or on an image sensor. The frame and the image sensor is in itself just a vessel to get the photograph you've taken into a computer or into a darkroom and getting it printed, whether it's in a bath or on a printer. You follow me? It's just a tool with a vessel inside it to get the image developed. Get it back home and get it developed. And in the end, no matter how you take a photograph, you basically do the same thing in Lightroom and in a darkroom. You develop the photograph, you correct the photograph, the shadows, the highlights, the exposure, and you frame the photograph, you crop the photograph, and you do all of these things either manually in a darkroom or on a computer in Lightroom. And in the end, the result is the same. A picture on a paper. So to me, whether you're an analog photographer or a digital photographer, it's just a matter of preference and what suits you and what you're working with for the moment. And I kind of have my one left foot in digital world, and I have the right foot in the analog world, since I started out in the analog realm of photography. And I kind of miss being in a darkroom. Because first I shot analog, then I went to digital because film was going out at the time when I went into photography again. And then I started a new job where we had a darkroom and we had analog cameras, and I went back into analog photography, and I quit that job and I lost my gear to a horrible accident, which I'll talk about rather soon. And now I'm back to shooting digital again. And there's really only two reasons why I don't do analog photography. And the first one is the accident I mentioned. In the darkroom we had, there were sewage pipes going under the roof. And you can see where I'm heading with this. Those sewage pipes broke and completely drenched the darkroom, including my own personal equipment, in shit. So it was just a matter of throwing it all away. And I cried a bit. But I wouldn't have been able to use the darkroom at home either, the equipment, because the second reason I don't photograph analog is because I want to develop my films by myself, and I don't have any space for a darkroom in this apartment where we live. Hopefully I will get that sometime in the future, but until then I'm sticking with digital. So I don't really prefer any of the other. I like them both, but I do miss that darkroom. I miss being in a darkroom together with my friends Frank Sinatra, John Coltrane, Miles Davis. I'm listening to them playing, singing while I develop the films. I miss the smell of the fluids used. I miss the relaxed feeling of being in a complete darkroom with all my friends, those small little cockroaches, silverfishes or whatever they're called. And I miss that feeling of doing something with my hands. And it still is for me pure magic watching a blank piece of paper lying in a bath and seeing the photograph magically appear on this paper. That said, I also of course love the simplicity of sitting in Lightroom, still listening to music while I'm working. Especially when I'm alone in the early mornings, late nights, and fiddling with the image in Lightroom. Both gives me a sense of relaxation, calmness, and I get to, how do you say it? I get to be with my own thoughts in my own little bubble. And that's a good way for me to charge my inner batteries. So, both ways of doing photography is really just a way to get the same result. You want to get a piece of paper on a picture. No, you want to get a picture printed on a piece of paper. If you're going to drive from A to B, it doesn't matter if you have a Volvo or a Saab. If you want to do some typing, internet browsing, image editing, it doesn't matter if you have a PC or a Macintosh. If you want to play video games, it doesn't matter if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox. Both do the same thing. So can we please agree on that no single way of doing photography is better than the other. It's always the result that counts. And what you, as the photographer, get out of doing what you do, what you love to do. So, while your little fingers is playing with the keyboard, typing comments about how wrong I am, or preferably how right I am, I'm going to work on my next video, and hopefully you'll see me then. So bye for now.